Hello and welcome to Star Trek Discovery Mission Report. I'm Josh.
I'm Steve.
So it's been a while. Apologies. Better late than never.
I take all the blame for that.
We were caught in a wormhole and it just happened. You know,
Right.
we just got out. So
Yeah.
we were in the mirror universe.
Uh-huh.
I don't like your mirror self.
I don't like either of myself, but I got you.
Yeah, but he's worse, right?
He's way worse.
Come on. You got to feel a little bit better about yourself. Yeah. Mine was a servant,
Yes.
sadly.
Yeah.
He gave people baths, just like Saru did. Saru's mere slave. That was tragic to see that. But
yeah, that was.
Yeah, last episode we left off on was an episode 10.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we're going to recap 11 through 15. A lot went down since we last talked.
No kidding.
And then we're going to talk about, our likes, dislikes with the show. Of course, other news developments regarding season 2 and talk a little Orville / Trek. Well, let's kick it off then. Where we kind of pick up from Dr. Culber was just killed by Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Volk.
Right.
He's losing his self because he's
he's
two people.
reverting back to Klingon almost, yeah.
L'Rell gave him a command and he just kind of went cuckoo. And he got the bad news that he is Klingon or was manipulated, whatever. And of course,
memories start flooding back, and
And Colbert was going to keep him from doing a mission. That was a bad idea, but I don't think he knew he was going to get his neck broken.
Right,
so,
yeah. Probably would have changed his prescription there.
Yeah, a little bit. I'll be right back.
Right.
Locked down.
Yeah.
That was really tragic. I like that character a lot. And of course, him and Stamets are the first openly gay couple in Star Trek history. So yeah, that was kind of a shame to have that happen. Stamets, of course, is in this spore drive verse coma.
Right.
It's just very trippy and mysterious.
Yeah.
We get some of our questions answered with it, but it's still up in the air. Like, it's kind of, they didn't concrete say this is this and that and that. So, so Stamets and Culber had to have a heartbreaking end. Stamets was in that spore verse trying to get out. He encountered his mirror self, which didn't tell him the truth of how they ended up together and all this, like, in this universe or within the spore. But the mirror Stamets was working on basically weaponizing the spores, I believe. And he basically overworked them. And that's what caused this network to basically go down because they're dying.
Yeah.
And it got linked, I think, with the Primeverse Discovery when it went into its last
jump
last jump. So just started everything from there. So yeah, we get that reunion and it's very heartbreaking, but he helps get Stamets out of that state. And so Stamets has to help Discovery get home and kind of put his feelings on the back burner, which you can imagine is very hard. And I think he conveyed that pretty well, with his emotion and
good acting, really good acting.
And Tilly was very well too. She was, very helpful, and he was more respectable to her, so that was good. So she's grown as a character for sure.
A ton.
So with Burnham and Tyler together on the Shinzu, they go to that one planet to try and talk. Basically, it's resistance in the mirror universe.
Yeah.
So you got Mir Sarek down there, rocking the goatee, classic Spock goatee. Yeah, I really like that actor. He does a great job, and he mind melds with Burnham and realizes who she really is. They don't know what her intentions are. They don't trust her intentions. But a unique thing happens with these peace talks, and this is just between Burnham's character and all these groups of resistant warriors. It's got nothing to do with Emperor Jojo.
Right.
We'll find out, later that, she basically put that big hammer down on the piece.
Right.
But it was, Vok was there.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Tyler's dealing with this alternate state of mind.
Yeah.
And he basically sees his doppelganger.
Right.
But it's not his doppelganger. It's very confusing. And he's just going to blow this whole thing. And of course he does.
He does.
And tries to kill his doppelganger. Because I think, the Vok and them was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
That's me. Kill him.
The Vok?
Yeah, what the Vok is going on? So, of course, yeah, Tyler loses it. And then he tries to kill Burnham in private back on the ship.
Yeah.
Which was like, whoa, this is getting intense. And then at the end, we thought, oh, well, they basically beam people to die in space. So that's what they did with him.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave him a nice gut punch, because, her heart just got broken extremely because he was her anchor. And yeah, it turned out that she just came to realize, oh, crap, well, he thinks he's Klingon. I don't think she really knew.
Yeah, I don't think the full scope wasn't realized at that point, but I mean, the hints were everywhere.
Because her mind's on all this other stuff. She's got to play captain. And
then she's trying to get killed by the person she loves.
Yes, of course.
So it's a good time.
So, yeah, I thought, oh, I guess that's how he dies. And then Discovery beams him aboard, part of this whole big plan.
Yeah.
And they know what's up. And so, yeah, they confine him to, I think, the sick bay, figure out what the hell's going on with him. I think the evidence was hidden maybe because, Culber knew, but he was killed. Right. So, yeah, Tyler disposed of everything. So they were able to figure out with L'Rell what was going on with him. And, of course, he starts losing. Tyler starts going away further and further, and they're just basically fighting in the head. Yeah. And so Saru has that nice moment with L'Rell where she doesn't want to help. And he basically does the tough love in a way, even though they're enemies. He does the tough love. He just beams Tyler into her brig. Right. It's like, deal with him then.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, if you really love him, you're going to basically kill him. Yeah. And that's what she does.
Excellent piece of scenery there with Saru. I mean, that was one of my favorite moments of his in the whole season.
Yeah, he at the beginning, I always thought he'd be a side character. I never thought he'd be in the captain's chair. And
he was pretty integral all season long.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big development for that character. Yeah. You're going from a guy who wanted to get the hit list of captains. Yeah. And then he kind of ended up becoming one of those hits,
And when you're an actor and you're basically a CG person, that's a tough thing to pull off, I think. Especially today, because there's, they can make so many cool looking alien characters. They kind of get lost in the shuffle. Yes. But he really brought that character to life. And it was just phenomenal.
Oh, he's incredible. Yeah. I really hope he somehow gets an Oscar maybe someday. He was in Doug Jones we're talking about. He was in Shape of Water, played another creature. Yeah. He's just so damn good at it. It's weird. But what's unique about him, and I saw like a piece on him, he basically says he's still unrecognizable in public. Yeah. So he doesn't get that, like, people bothering him. Right. He can just walk amongst us, basically.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's just a tall, skinny dude. Yeah. Good on him. He did a great job with that part. And so back on Burnham's end, she meets Emperor Jojo. They come aboard her, the headquarter vessel. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. It's got that huge light, which is the spore weaponry, I believe. Kind of looks like Lord of the Rings with that eye on top of the castle.
Sauron's
eye. Yeah, exactly. Really trippy looking, the design there. Burnham brings Lorca, because Lorca's wanted. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the mirror Lorca he helped raise Burnham with Emperor Jojo. Right. Burnham and Emperor Jojo are mother and daughter. Right. So Lorca helped her raise Burnham, and then I guess they became lovers, which is gross. Like a Woody Allen syndrome there.
Mia Farrow.
Yeah, oof. So they planned to overtake Emperor Jojo. Of course, that didn't happen. They both left, and Lorca just returned. Michael Burnham Mirrorverse is probably dead. Right. We never did get that confirmed, but most likely that's what happened.
Most likely, and it's interesting that we never did get it confirmed. Mm-hmm. So, there's an opening.
To get back to Saru bathing Burnham. Right. It's really weird, but someone took Boys to Men, I'll Make Love to You, and they dubbed it with that. Nice. It's a YouTube video. You should check it out. It's pretty funny. It's like, whoa, that changes it so much. Yeah. We find out that I guess it's a delicacy to eat Saru's species in the Mirrorverse. It's very disgusting because Burnham basically chose dinner when she met Mirror Jojo. And yeah, she was like, "Here, have some of my membrane." I was like, ugh.
Right.
I'm glad I wasn't eating like Chinese or anything. Like, this is just too much, or pasta, whatever. Giorgio catches on that Burnham is not Burnham. Her
Right.
Burnham, anyway. And it looks Burnham's going to get killed. But then Giorgio kills her whole staff to, get rid of the witnesses.
Yeah.
Because she's letting Burnham go. And a unique thing happens. Light from outer space, from the spore weapon, it hits Giorgio in the eyes, and she has a reaction to it. Someone else has similar reaction to light. Would you like to talk about that, Steve? And it's something we've kind of wondered ourselves for a while.
So this was like one of the biggest things I complained about, like a 2-year-old, when the series first started, with Lorca's, sensitive, eyesight to bright lights and adjustment and stuff. I'm just thinking, what a dumb quirk for someone to have just randomly. It's just really weird. My pinky nail grows faster than the rest. So, that's my thing. And so I just thought it was kind of a dumb deal. But I am completely reversing my stance because they brought it all, together. And, there's a reason for it. And it was just another example, though, of this series surpassing my expectations. And, it was I was really happy to kind of see that.
Yeah.
Because I was glad to be wrong. And, maybe I complained about it, but there was a reason for it, and I'm the first person to go back and say, well, hey.
Well, even I thought it was kind of silly, I was like, oh, they're just trying to build him up. And then we didn't know what the hell was going on with Lorca. He had some darkness to him, but basically we find out.
We find out.
Burnham finds out through flashbacks.
Now, I will say that was a lot of payoff we had to go through to get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but nonetheless, it was there and it was smart writing.
It meant more, though.
It meant more.
We were so far in.
Yeah, exactly.
It just everything just got into place.
Yeah, because if I stopped watching like halfway through the first season, I'd still be stuck on he has a stupid little quirk thing with his eyes. It was dumb,
Watch episode.
Right. Yeah. So it was that was a cool way that they paid that off.
So Lorca is really mere Lorca. I remember watching that reveal, and my jaw just like did stages of dropping. I was like, "Oh my god!" And of course, I was like, "Steve, did you see that?"
Yeah, Lorca Prime is like, dead, right?
Well, we don't know.
Is that another thing where it's just not clear, right?
I don't think so. I think we could meet him, maybe. But it does explain why his ship blew up in the Prime.
Yeah,
mere Lorca did it deliberately,
right?
And maybe some people survived, including Prime Lorca.
Right.
Not sure.
I kind of hope so, just because of the actor.
Well, yeah, of course. Jason Isaacs, great actor. Yeah, I mean, that's what's nice about Michelle Yeoh. It's like we thought we lost her in episode 2, I think. Yeah. And we get like some flashbacks and holograms.
Yeah.
But this was like something you could tell she's having fun with it.
Oh, yeah.
She got to help design the sword. I guess some guy from props like basically had to like just drive fast, run through an airport to catch her before she left town to get the final approval and notes on the sword before they were going to make it final. But her background is all of that sorcery and martial arts. So like this was perfect for her.
She was phenomenal. And, she doesn't really play a role like she is the mirror version of her, and so
it's new.
Yeah, so I mean, you can tell she's just enjoying it, and she's killing it, man. I mean, just amazing. So glad she's still around.
Yeah, Mir Lorca breaks out of his shock booth, Bill and Ted, shock booth, pretty much, and he assembles his men. They all know what they need to do. Security lady who died from the big spore bug, warp. What do we call him? Warp dog or something?
Yeah, warp dog.
She's there, so she gets to come back too. Yeah. It's very, very cool how they did that.
Yeah,
because you'd see them on After Trek, and you'd be like, "Oh, damn, they gotta go."
Yeah.
So I was hoping, like, maybe we'll find Mir Culber, and Stamets can have him. I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
This episode with Lorca trying to take over the ship, trying to do what he planned to do all along.
Right.
And we come to find out before they jumped and went into the Mirrorverse and Stamets went into his crazy Sporeverse coma Lorca put those codes in for their heading, got the signature from all those jumps they did around the Klingon ship. And that's how he knew to get to the Mirrorverse. That was also a reveal that was just like, everything just clicked.
Right.
And you just are like, oh, I totally understand everything now.
Yeah, and it makes a character just very smart. And, you know, you get an even better appreciation for his evilness, so to speak, you know.
Oh, Isaacs. Yeah, he always plays a villain. So it wasn't a stretch.
Right.
But again, I hope we see the Prime one.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, it would be really cool. I'd like to say when he was in the Primeverse, his Lorca did some good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So you almost wonder, like, was he maybe trying to change a little bit? Was the Primeverse rubbing off on him, or was that just all an act?
I think it was all an act.
I think it was all an act?
I only do because I think
he's that committed.
Yeah, he had the end goal in mind.
True.
And we saw so many points in the series up to that point where he would do questionable things to get something done. And I think he was just building up towards that. Yeah. And I think anything he did nice had to be the act. It's kind of like Batman. When he's Bruce Wayne, that's the act.
Right.
You know,
right.
He is Batman.
Right.
You know, so I think it was his nice moments were Bruce Wayne stuff. You know, he just it wasn't really who he was.
That was very interesting how all that came together. And as he's trying to take over the Emperor's ship and kill Giorgio, it becomes like a Die Hard with Burnham and air ducts. It was so cool. And that was their intention. The writers and I think the director. But she was, you know, secretly contacting Discovery. That's how she let him know about Lorca.
Right.
All that stuff. It was so good. And it just had a great ending. The Mir Stamets gets taken out. Apparently on the bridge of the Emperor's ship, you can open a door and it goes right into the Spore drive weapon. And so they were going to, it looked like they were going to throw Stamets in there. And then Lorca's like, oh, I don't want to. Something like, I'm just being theatrical. And then they just blast him in the back and he just, you know, vaporizes. We have a lot of cool battles within the ship. It's heavily action, you know, based. And, you know, the payoff at the end was just beautiful. You have, you know, on Discovery, you have the whole crew finally, the bridge crew. We're getting to know them more, how they're strategizing, coming to the Emperor's ship themselves to pick Burnham up. And, and, you know, of course, they're trying to get the Defiant. They think that's their answer, but apparently it was not the answer. I actually went back and watched that episode with the Defiant, and I forgot exactly what happened to her. Apart from the change, which people were freaking out about, you know, when Tyler brought it up when they first got to the Mirrorverse, the Defiant looked different. People were just like, ooh, you know, it's like, don't ruin my Enterprise. That was a really cool scene when Giorgio with Burnham, they had that huge fight. Burnham was fighting the security. Lorca has a thing for Burnham. And we understand that now. We thought before maybe it was like a mentor thing. But I think it was more of like, hey, she's my boo.
It was creepier than that.
Yeah. So it's funny, Lorca, when they finally confront Emperor Giorgio and Burnham, Lorca and Giorgio are going at it. Great fight. And of course, Burnham and the security chief from, you know, Prime verse, they were going at it. And Lorca was like both defending himself and then defending Burnham from getting, you know, he's like stabbing the other security because it's like, that's his girl. He doesn't want anything to happen to her. And he sees a potential, like he knows what she's capable of. And it's like almost like a fulfilling prophecy. Because he did say to his men before he left that he was going to, you know, come back and take over everything. Going back to that, maybe a little stretch. I don't know. It was kind of vague how he got put in the Primeverse, Mir Lorca. He was apparently on a planet. The Emperor, or I'm sorry, they're on their ship, I think, and the Emperor was trying to shoot him, and as they did, somehow he hit a wave or something and then went into the Prime. So that was kind of, I don't know, not as clear as I'd like it to be.
It's the cosmic scapegoat, you know, clause, where, you know, if you need something done, well, just some sort of anomaly in space did it.
That was a coffee break. Like, let's just wrap this up. I'm jittery.
That's my, you know, biography title. anomaly in space. Something went wrong.
How we describe this beautiful thing that happened, anomaly in space. Yeah. Brilliant. Let's use that to death. That was my only complaint, you know. I got other complaints, but anyway, Lorca had the best death ever, I think. Yeah. Maybe ever in Star Trek. I don't know. I mean, probably shouldn't say that. I don't want to get killed. Yeah. Or threatened.
Well, it wouldn't have been Shatner's.
No. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
But yeah, it was a very impressive way to go out, you know.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It was just awesome.
You just remind me, though, you when Shatner bit it was, you know, a bridge that killed him. Yeah. Well, and gravity. But there's a meme, I think, or some saying it where it says, Captain on the bridge on the captain.
Nice.
But yeah, Lorca just, Burnham kicks him down into the spore weapon, and he just gradually loses everything, his skin and everything. It was beautiful. Yeah. It was actually beautiful. It was, you know, gross. Not really too gross.
But it was almost a sigh of relief when it happened, you know? Right. Just watching the whole show and all the build up, and it was just like, okay.
Right.
How do we get out of the rest of it?
At that time, I think Discovery comes through, and they're blasting that spore thing, trying to destroy it, just taking out the whole ship. It's very strategized well, and you got to see Discovery really kick some ass. It was really neat. Action-packed, the whole bridge crew interacting, and it was something you've been longing to see.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like Giorgio is going to die again because she's taking on her men and the ship's blowing up at the same time. Yeah. Michael has a way out. They're beaming her out, and she decides last minute to grab Giorgio. Mere Giorgio.
Yeah. Taking her to the Prime universe.
Yes. They get back on Discovery, and they're like, we got to get the hell out of here. Mm-hmm. So Stamets thinks he can navigate it. Yeah. With Tilly's help. He thinks he can navigate it and just find their way. So he basically, it's really a cool effect. Yeah. They lock him in, and there's all these pathways. Right. But then he's got to choose the right pathway. Yeah. And he does choose the right one, but it's like 3 months too late.
Yeah. They're in the future. You know, and they thought they were, or everyone else thought they were gone and missing.
Yes.
And a lot had happened.
Yeah, like Starfleet is pretty much losing the war. Like, it's happening. It's going to be a for sure thing, it looks like. Yeah. And you've got Admiral Cornwell. She comes on board with Sarek, and they're like, what the hell is going on? Yeah. They had a debrief, and, you know, Cornwell had that great scene where she phaser blasts the fortune cookie bowl. Right. Because she's just upset. She's like, I knew that wasn't my Lorca. Because he was just weird. Yeah. And he pretty much sent her to get killed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, Sarek's too sick. We should send her.
Yeah, and he knew what he was doing. Mm-hmm. You know, that was when, you know, I knew that. Well, we didn't know for sure he was Mirror at the time, but it was like, oh, he's a total asshole. Oh, you know, I mean, sure. There's no question.
Yeah. So they strategize. They're trying to figure out what they can do to help win this war, and also just trying to get used to being back, processing everything. Tyler seems to be Tyler again, and of course he still has the memories of what he did. There's that scene where him and Stamets come face to face by accident. They just like turn a corner, and it's like, hi. It was a great way they did that scene. You know, you could tell it's just one of those situations like there's no right or wrong to deal with this, you know.
But it was still tense, you know.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, that was really powerful, and Tyler's just trying to understand where his place is. So apparently that's also kind of confusing still what they did to him, because you think it was Klingon altered, but then they talk about they took the actual Tyler.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's like they took his DNA and they kind of rearranged it, and you know, it's basically like using the old parts for the new guy. You know, almost a Frankenstein type deal.
Right. Yeah. Right. They get the plan to this is where it gets interesting. You got the mere Giorgio. So Burnham had hope that she could make Giorgio like good, you know. She's basically just trying to have a second chance at something it's not the same person, but she believes that she could be the same person. So it's a kind of a stretch, but I get it, you know, it's because it's so fresh still. It's like 7 months ago her captain was alive, vision sentence, all that. Giorgio's pissed why she saved her, because Giorgio wanted to go out in style. That's the way she was headed. It's a warrior race, you know. She didn't have all the answers, Burnham. So at the end of the show, it turns out Giorgio made a deal with Cornwell to allow her to take the identity of Prime Giorgio.
Right.
And
help win the war.
And she gets to walk on the bridge of the ship and play captain, and everyone's got to look at her. And of course, she's not friendly with Saru's race.
Right.
And so she's very like, I don't like you.
Yeah.
Saru's summoning Burnham over to him to be like, you can believe this shit?
Yeah, what
pretty
the
much.
hell?
And I'm thinking, what the hell, Starfleet?
Yeah.
But they're so desperate, so it makes sense. But
it's either that or lose everything.
Yeah, it's still. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So of course, no surprise. Giorgio has her own plan.
Mm-hmm.
Their overall plan, it was made by Giorgio, was to, I think, threaten to blow up Kronos, get the upper hand, plant some bombs, and blow it up. But she actually wanted to blow it up.
Yeah.
Because where she's from, that's what they do.
That's how they did it, yeah.
That's what they do. So they all beam over. And the other unique thing is they had to jump within the planet, I believe. They had to navigate that carefully just so they could get close enough to have a good signal to beam people on and off.
Right.
And get back in time, of course.
And avoid detection, I think, too, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes. So we get to see the inner world of Kronos, the Klingon world.
Yeah.
Which, I don't think we still know everything about Kronos here and there. I'm sure it's been touched upon.
Yeah, there are bits and pieces, but that's all it was. It was always bits and pieces. Yeah.
For sure. Then this was world building, too, because we got to see there's like gambling down there.
Oh, yeah.
There's all species, too. It's not just Klingon.
Yeah, there's a lot of street activity.
Yeah, which, could be a problem to some fans. I don't know. But
a lot of food trucks, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Taco?
Taco. Let's get a taco.
But yeah, we had an interesting cameo by Mr. Clint Howard himself. That was that surprising to you? Distracting?
I think it was distracting. Just because
he's like, you want some weed? That's pretty much what he was. He was a druggie.
That guy.
Until he smoked it, trying to blend in, and she was just hallucinating.
Yeah. That was...
Oh, I know.
Clint Howard.
I know. And of course, Tyler's inner Klingons coming out as they're gambling, and it really scared Burnham. She's like, this guy isn't, this isn't Tyler's. I mean, it's Tyler, but I can't be with this, basically. This is crazy. So Tyler's still got all the memories and knows how to gamble like Vok did. Like, I guess Vok was terrible at everything except gambling. So he had a knack for it. So that helped them win an upper hand to get some information. And of course, Giorgio has threesome. It's like, wow, this is Star Trek.
Right.
This is crazy. So yeah, she has a brief relationship to get some info as well. And then of course her plan is she's going to detonate the bomb. She drops it down the shaft, whatever, to the core of the planet.
Yeah.
And Burnham talks her out of it and gets the detonator. And then she just lets Giorgio go away.
Yeah.
Just clean slate pretty much. And then they, in turn, let L'Orelle gain control, help Starfleet win the war. Basically surrender, I believe. She got all the houses together.
Right.
And she's like, I got the detonator, assholes.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we will bow to you.
Right, yeah.
You are our new leader. And then Tyler decides to go with L'Orelle in the end because he's out of place. They kind of have some nice basic instinct interactions, which is crazy. Did you notice we got Klingon boob?
Oh yeah, that was.
I'm like, whoa, this is pushing it.
Yeah, pushing the envelope.
Yeah, a little bit. That was pretty interesting. So that's pretty much how we ended the show. They went back to Earth, Discovery crew, and got their badges. Burnham is no longer going to jail. They got her out of that.
Yeah.
It kind of happens when you save the world and stuff.
Yeah.
Happened with Kirk, so.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a Kirk move before a Kirk move.
Right.
So she finally got her badge,
yeah.
Which has always annoyed me, but I get it. She's not really an officer, but it's like, put the damn badge on. It's just weird. And then Tilly, she's no longer an ensign. She got the full badge herself, and that was great. Burnham gave a speech. It was weird how she gave that speech. It felt like it was overacting just because as she was talking, they made cuts to everyone getting like badged, and it felt like you're not saying this now. Like, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that was just like, it was one of those scenes where she's doing her own scene, but they're cutting to other scenes before.
We're just seeing other pieces.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't like that. Overall, I mean, I dug the last episode. I kind of thought it was anticlimactic just because it's such a big buildup, and then it's all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're just going to threaten to blow this planet up.
Right.
You know, I didn't hate it. I think Lorca was probably the high, right? And
right.
We get back to our Prime verse, and it's like, okay.
You kind of breathe a little bit, and that's where we left.
The end of the show, they're setting course to do their thing. They're pretty much going to explore, I think, now, because the war's over. I think that's where season 2 is heading into. More, Trek we come to know.
Right, exploration,
safe track.
That sort of thing. Yeah, safe track.
But they encounter a message. You want to mention that? Right before the show ends.
Right before the show ends, and it wasn't a distress call, right?
Yeah, I think it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
And it was another Starfleet ship.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a Captain Pike.
Yes.
I don't remember the name of the ship. Is it?
Don't.
No.
Very.
The Enterprise! So, yeah, it was pretty sweet.
I love that. I mean, you knew it was coming.
You knew it was coming, but it was still...
Because they're like, we can't...
worth it.
We can't make out the, the ID on the ship.
Right.
And it was like, on the screen, NCC 170. And you're like, I know what that is.
Yeah.
And then Burnham basically turned the camera like, it's the Enterprise, everybody.
Right.
I liked the last episode, but I feel like it's like, you didn't have to go that far.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's the Enterprise.
Right.
Like,
they're guiding us.
I'm not trying to be a downer.
Much,
Yeah, it's like, okay. We know. Yeah. But we got to see the Enterprise.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like the Defiant.
Mm-mm.
So, what do you think of that Enterprise? It's basically TOS crossed with the motion picture Enterprise in a way, but it's also got its own little flair to it.
Yeah. I liked it a lot. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see if they go into ship design versus, Discovery versus the other ships in the fleet, that sort of thing. But it was awesome to see. I loved it. And you're right, they did handhold a little bit extra than they needed to. It left me really excited for season 2.
Sure.
So.
It's a good cliffhanger.
Yeah.
You were like, oh my God. And I think fans like the new Enterprise pretty well. I don't think there was too many haters.
I didn't see a lot of backlash on it.
No, I mean, it's not the original Enterprise, but it's like, come on, they have to contemporize the look. And I've seen some cool drawings of what the new bridge could look like, and it's actually looks great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got the classic in there, but it's got the Discovery type stuff. It's not a huge bridge, but it's just like what we knew, and it's just different. I'm glad she didn't say, hey, it's the Enterprise, and my brother Spock's on it.
Right.
That would have been too far.
Right.
But Sarek was with them. That's the deal. They were taking him back home to Vulcan. So, we get that head-to-head meet with the Enterprises. Looks like they're going to have that window screen, just like most of the new ships have now in that universe. The J.J. Abrams started it, which I kind of dig.
Yeah, I like it too.
It really makes you feel like you're on the bridge of a ship.
Yeah.
Because you kind of see the outside of it, through the viewer.
Yeah, it's cool.
But yeah, I've got a lot of questions like, what's the distress call about?
Yeah.
What's going on? It's Captain Pike, and Spock's got to be on board.
Yeah.
Word just broke a couple days ago because everyone's like, who's going to play Captain Pike? I didn't even know if he'd see them. I didn't know if it was just going to be like a one-off thing, and we pick up and they're on another mission. But it looks like Anson Mount, who was just in Humans, played a guy who couldn't talk.
Yeah.
So he's been on other things, and forgive me if I'm not mentioning those other shows. I'm sure he's a good actor.
Right.
He looks the part. He looks like Captain Pike on steroids, pretty much. He's a big dude. Yeah. So I know that they can't dig up Jeffrey Hunter. So I'm not like, this is ridiculous.
Right.
But before this casting, we were going to record sooner, obviously. And I kept thinking, like, for Spock, who should play him? Should it be, there's 3 ways you can go about it. And obviously, I think one way is going to be for sure. You could do a CGI Spock. If you're not going to see Spock much, you could do CGI Leonard Nimoy. People like it. If you did it creatively, not just like, look at the face. This looks real. No, it doesn't. Show us an angle. It's fine. Thought Zachary Quinto.
Yep.
But then you'd have to have his Pike, probably.
Right.
So it's probably going to just be another actor.
Probably another actor.
I'm okay with it. I'm sure they'll find someone cool.
Who's the guy that plays Sheldon on Big Bang Theory?
Oh, crap. What's his name?
Jim Parsons.
Yeah. Too skinny.
He is too skinny.
Maybe not. I don't know.
But I mean, I think he could pull off the whole, facade. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, they're already paying him enough, so why not just do a little thing for them?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, there could be. I'm sure there's a million good choices we don't know about. Unknowns or whatever. I mean, someone will go in there and probably do just a nice job.
Yeah, I'll be anxious to know who they get, and of course see all the backlash. That'll be wonderful.
Right, people freaking out.
I think people are digging this Pike casting though.
Yeah,
I like it. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm really liking everything, the Enterprise, and as long as it doesn't overwhelm season 2,
right?
Because it's Star Trek Discovery,
right?
It's not Star Trek. Covered everything pretty much. We're caught up. Let's talk about likes and dislikes of season 1. Go ahead. And
so for me, the likes were obviously I like the upgrades in technology. A lot of people are kind of mixed on that, but I thought that was just really cool. The Spore Drive I thought was really kind of a brilliant touch. I thought I would dislike, what's her name? Tilly.
Mm-hmm.
Gilly's in Game of Thrones.
Gilly's her mere
stupid.
Self. I don't know.
Yeah, Tilly was just I don't know. I thought she was very annoying the first few episodes, and wasn't sure. Are we gonna get this oh my god type person? The whole time, right? Yeah. But it turned out to be one of my favorite things in the show was her development. Sure. Through the whole season, and I don't know. This was very reminiscent to me of the feel of the relaunched Battlestar Galactica several years ago on Sci-Fi. Just had that serious approach to it. There was a lot of consequences. It wasn't your slow joke around. Everybody has a laugh at Spock's expense at the end of the show and freeze frame. Nothing like that. But
live studio audience.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and so, but it was great. I mean, there's not a lot I didn't like. I mean, anything I didn't was probably just really minor and nitpicky, because there's not one thing that sticks out in my head as that sucked or this should have changed. Even the eye thing at the beginning was annoying, but it wasn't a showstopper for me.
Yeah,
I just thought it was dumb, But then they went ahead and fixed it.
Brilliant.
It made Steve eat his words. I think that was their only goal, telling me to shut up.
They heard us.
They
heard
it.
Rewrite the whole show.
Yeah, Steve's right. That is kind of dumb.
We were gonna have him have surgery, but that'd be boring.
He's gonna have laser surgery and
turn into Hulk.
Yeah, but it was. I don't know. I if I have to give it like a rating out of a 10. It's a solid 8 or 9 for me. Solid, because it was just really great.
I agree with everything you said, and yeah, I think it was a pretty solid show.
Yeah.
Nitpicks. Hopefully, it'll stand the test of time with the fans.
Right. But, show me a season 1 without nitpicks.
Right, of course.
I mean,
it's pretty solid for season 1.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, the Next Generation. Season 1 isn't as roundly liked as,
Actually, I don't think they got together to like season 3.
3 on up, so.
You go out there and watch, there's documentaries on it.
They
didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Right.
Roddenberry was like checked out pretty much. She had crazy ideas.
And there were some cool moments there, but it was by and large kind of a mess, and they came into their own and poof, and I think this was easily a great first season, for a new show, and pretty good. Cast chemistry was great.
Yeah, it really was. It was a big cast, too. These people are very well established.
Yeah.
Some aren't, but they are now.
Yeah.
And I guess test of time, the Star Trek fans, I'm sure they'll hopefully enjoy it more, get off their high horse bit.
Right.
But we also made new fans this way. And it's darker, and it's probably a phase. Like, they're going to get back to the light side of Star Trek.
Yeah.
With that said, it's kind of... I wouldn't say it's a bad time for Discovery to look the way it does and to come out when it did come out, because we have the Orville,
right,
which came out at the same time, and it's very familiar territory.
Right,
it's a comfort to Star Trek fans, and it's been, I think, pretty much embraced by the Star Trek community.
Oh yeah,
it's very similar with stories, like very TNG-esque. I see that a lot.
Very Next Gen, very much so. And that's a huge influence of McFarlane's anyway. I mean, he's had all those guys on Family Guy. I mean, he's
sure.
Patrick Stewart's been on Family Guy a billion times, and McFarlane it's not a secret. He's a huge Star Trek fan.
He is,
and he loved the Next Gen, and that whole show I wasn't sure what to expect, but it's got drama, it's got some comedy, it's got some good action, and it's got heart, and it's a sci-fi. So when you blend all that, that could be a really weird cocktail, but I'm telling you, they've made it work. I mean, it was great.
They did. And I am totally for both Star Trek fans liking both shows, right?
Yeah.
It's fun. It's not really a parody either.
Yeah. And it's not a competition,
No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. They're totally different shows. But my whole thing is, I'm like, I wish these hardcore fans who are basically turning their back on Discovery because of the way it looks and everything like that. I mean, they're judging. They're basically doing the opposite of what Starfleet's about.
Right,
and Star Trek's about, right? Not embracing any change
and every fan base has its a-holes. And
of course.
Star Trek's no different.
And, they're basically turning to the Orville as their new Star Trek show, which...
As long as they both get good ratings and stay on the air, do whatever you want.
That's fine. I just think that's very stupid to be like, I'm turning my back on Star Trek.
Yeah, you can have both.
Yeah.
It's like the whole Star Trek versus Star Wars, It's like... Or DC versus Marvel. Why can't you like both?
Right.
And
I'm sure that hurt Discovery because, it's like, oh, we're going to go in this new direction, but here's some familiar territory.
Yeah.
And it's like, familiar territory.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't help that you have to pay to watch Discovery.
Right.
Orville's on Fox. So, and you can get the Fox app and watch the last episodes. It had pretty great ratings for, Discovery, having to pay for it. But, their episodes are out there for anytime you want to watch them, as long as you have the subscription. So I'm going to probably binge watch those again. And, of course, you get After Trek, which you finally got to catch a few.
Yeah, started watching those, and that was good.
I really like that. It gets
great behind the scenes and stuff. And it was really cool having the actors on and the writers. And, you just got a lot more insight than you would just watching the show.
Yeah,
it's like watching the IMDb trivia section come to life. Yeah, basically, it was just really cool. There were so many cool, tidbits and stuff in there.
It was well put together. It was and it's like Talking Dead. It's a live show after the airing of the first show, and I think Matt Myra did a great job hosting that. He is so smart and funny. I've been a fan of his for years, so I'm glad he finally has a hosting gig like that because he's a big Trek fan.
Cool outlet for him.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful set. And you got to see after Lorca was revealed to be Mir Lorca, you got to see Jason Isaacs on the show, and he was saying hi, and it was really cool. So they had these ship models in the last After Trek show.
Yeah,
the Discovery and the Shinzu, I believe, they're like light up models.
Oh, cool.
I was getting my taxes back, so I was like, I could pay $200-300 probably for one of those. They're like $2,000-3,000 each.
Oh boy!
So I used your card. Sorry,
gotcha. No problem. I didn't even notice the charge.
They're very nice.
Yeah, yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, they're beautiful though. Like I went out to the site and oh my god, they're detailed. Like the shuttle bay, you can see shuttles in there.
Oh man,
it's extravagant. I don't know who the hell's gonna pay that much.
Right.
Any
Someone
rich
will.
Star Trek fan out there will, but. That was
Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, that would be funny, wouldn't it? Maybe he put it in the Orville in his quarters in the background. Right. Yeah, right. But yeah, it's been a great year, really. I think Star Trek fans were getting caught up, getting that taste of the '90s. Getting even though we just have one Star Trek show,
right?
But the Orville feels like it's very it's like Star Trek Discovery. Get in there, it jars your head, right? And then Orville is kind of like, oh, this is like a calming, it's hard to explain, but the Orville,
just like a palate cleanser,
Yeah, for sure, yeah. And I think that's good to go, next to each other, kind of just helps balance things and maybe help you not bitch about like, this is too dark.
Yeah.
But it looks like season 2 they might lighten it up a little bit.
That's the rumor.
And season 2 is usually tougher than the first one. They got to outdo what they did before and. Hopefully Enterprise won't be as much as I love Enterprise and the crew and stuff. I hope it's not too jammed down our throats because it just becomes a different show.
Yeah.
So that'd be very interesting. And we still have to get a captain for Discovery, which some people think maybe Pike could do that. I don't know. But, he later had a transport accident in TOS.
We'll see how much they mirror the...
That would be interesting.
Prime timeline.
I mean, I don't...
Prime line.
The Prime Line. Well, actually, it can't be Pike because then Kirk would have to take over.
Right.
And that's too soon. This is 10 years before.
Yeah.
But we know Spock was on Enterprise 10 years before Kirk, so
yeah, we'll see.
Spock should be there.
Yeah, he should be there.
I look forward to that casting announcement.
Yeah.
I'll be Adam Nimoy.
Right, that'd be cool.
Star Trek 4 seems to be moving forward. There's a lot of scripts being written right now, so this is like the most we've heard about it in over a year or two.
It's been a long time. I mean, it felt dead in the water for a while.
But the show, I think, helped generate buzz again. And, of course, Tarantino, whether you like it or not.
Not.
I don't know. I'm more towards not. But some of me's intrigued, like, what could he do? Would it be? But then again, it's like, I don't know. The Klingons would be crazy.
It's just too much for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he excels in reality scenarios.
He's never done sci-fi.
No, I just can't get a grip on what that would look like.
I know. It's just I don't know. It'd be a trip.
But if that were to happen, and if it were good, I'll be the first to praise him. I hate saying don't judge something until it's out, but I'm just having a hard time.
Yeah,
it's tough.
No, I understand. I just remember another criticism we had of season 1 of Discovery. The Klingons.
The makeup and the language.
Yeah. Right. Has it changed? Or?
I think it lightened up towards the end, but, the language has to go.
That's the only bad thing about that first episode. Like, seeing it the first time is great. Rewatching it's like, can I turn a translator on? Like,
right.
Jesus.
And then the prosthetics are so thick and everything. It all sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher, Right.
That's the only thing I wish they could change kind of is that makeup. I just think, when they were on that planet and there was like 2 other species there. I can't remember the species right now, but the blue species with the ears or the antennas.
Yep.
They made slight modifications to those.
Yeah.
Klingons are like complete overhaul.
Right.
And it's just thick ass makeup. I mean, my hat's off to the actress who plays Laurel. She was able to do a pretty good job. And Tyler, the actor played Tyler and Vok did a pretty good job. But man, that makeup's like,
it's a lot.
It's cool, but it's like you almost need to CGI the mouths because it's just like
you don't get the emote part at all. Worf.
Mm-hmm.
Some of what made Worf so lovable, funny, and feared and everything was the fact that he was able to do so much without saying a word.
Right.
The eyes and, the scowl or whatever, it was just...
And it was a cheat because it was human...
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Dorn, underneath was...
Right.
And they were able to use human body parts with everything. But someone did a rendering of, like, what Worf would look like if he looked like one of these Klingons. Yeah. It's like, oh, no. Because it's not really even approachable, it seems,
Right. I think it's more than just the shattered cranial exoskeleton at the tricipital lobe.
Exactly. I concur. What do you say? I know, I'm kidding.
That was, I don't remember which Borg-themed episode it was, but, Klingon, shattered cranial exoskeleton at the tricipital lobe.
That's one thing I've heard that I hope they stay away from.
Yeah.
People are like, are the Borg coming? Like, come on. We didn't get the Borg till season 2 of TNG.
Right.
Not
season
to be a dork,
3,
but
wasn't it?
It was one of those. Guinan was there.
Yeah.
It's like, we can't do this.
You
gotta, it's like my whole thing with Gotham and stuff like that. It's like, oh, we got nothing. Let's just pull from what everyone knows. It's like, no, it's lazy. Don't do that. Create a new species.
Forge your own path,
That's what TNG did. Mm-hmm. They made the Borg.
Right.
They didn't go,
they made Q.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just a lot to ponder what they could do with season 2. And the Klingon thing, I hope they can... We probably won't see the Klingons for a while, my guess.
I'm hoping it's, just random, smaller encounter type stuff, at least for a while. And I don't know if they'll do what they did in season 2 like they did in 1, where there's a grand overarching theme for the whole season. Or will we see one-offs or, maybe 2 or 3 episode story arcs? Who knows? Either way, I'm fine with it.
I hope they do an overall.
Yeah.
But they also have like a mid-season
right
cliffhanger. Like, I like that. There's a plan. I like that idea. Whether that plan was 100% devised before they started filming. Probably wasn't, but they had a lot of time to get the show going. A lot of delays, and we thought we're never going to see this damn thing.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, it turned out pretty well. I'm happy, and I want to watch it all again, just to remember everything.
Yeah,
so much to take in. Yeah, it was very exciting, and it was fun to do this show, and I think we'll try to do a season 2.
We'll do a season 2 for sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully I won't be pulled back into a wormhole and keeping us delayed. So
well, that's why I have a tractor beam.
There you go.
So we're all set there.
Like you, I'm looking forward to binging it before 2 comes out. You know, I want to try to time it just perfect. You know, and then and have some fun with that. But I'm excited to watch the live show afterwards. You know, after every show this time.
Yeah.
Because it did add a lot, you know, and it took me a while to get on board just to have the time to even watch it, but it was worth it.
I know. I had to come over to your house and you're watching it.
Exactly. Had me in an arm bar and everything and force it, you know, but I did it. So.
Put the turkey leg down. Remote up.
Yeah, me is put the Xbox controller down,
right.
You know, you nerd.
And thanks for telling the cops to be gentle. They were they were sweethearts.
Yeah, you know, no stun guns.
Yeah, the finest cell I could get that night.
Right.
That had no urine.
And I don't like stun guns because I have animals, so just in case.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about you. I was worried about my dog.
Well, at least you're honest.
There you
go. Yeah. Well, the Nerf guns were just as good. So, with that said, I hope you guys enjoy this break and. Come back and listen to us, and of course, watch season 2.
Yeah, live long and prosper.
I'm Josh.
I'm Steve.
Take care. Make it so.